what's good, everybody? I just wanted to give it a couple seconds, let everybody else join onto the call. Obviously, I want to make sure that we're all on at the same time, so that way if anybody has any questions, we can answer those questions together. Obviously, look at the charts together so nobody's lost, nobody's, has to come back or be on late. But yeah, what's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm definitely taking a quick look at the chat in case you guys have anything for me. What's good, Mary? How's everybody doing? So real quick, if you guys can share this with somebody who's obviously going to gain any type of knowledge, information, or even profits from this call. It's really important that we grow this community into something, well, my vision, if you will, and to grow in this community to be nothing about just simply just trading. Hundreds, if not thousands of people just sharing charts, knowledge, and ideas, and even resources that you can all pull together and obviously learn from to become better and more consistent traders. So if you can, that'll be great. Again, I really just want to impact as many lives as I possibly can in a positive manner while trading the currency markets and obviously cryptocurrencies as well. I'm dipping my toes into the metaverse and NFTs and everything. So hopefully in the near future, I'll have some value to put out for those markets as well. Obviously, my forte right now is trading Forex and cryptocurrency. So we'll stick to that for right now. But real quick, just so that way you guys know, there is a delay. What's good, Alexander? There is a delay. Now, what I thought was like a 10 to 7 second delay, or 7 to 10 second delay, sorry. I feel like it's a whole minute for some reason, because I actually looked at the recording from yesterday and it seemed like it was just off by a lot. So if it seems like you are asking a question and I'm not answering it, I do apologize. I will get to it as soon as it pops up on my end. And obviously the delay will kind of make things a little bit more difficult, but I'll make sure that I get to your questions and look at whatever markets you guys want to take a look at to the best of my abilities. With that being said, what markets do you guys want to take a look at? What is it that I can help you all with? What is it that you guys can obviously gain from me? Again, I just want to make sure that I'm speaking in relevance to really help you guys understand what's needed to become profitable. So before we actually, because again, that delay is crazy, I'll get to it the best as I can. But as we wait, or if I see anything in the chat, I'll obviously get to it. But what I'm going to take a look at real quick is gold. Let me actually make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, you guys can. Okay. I got my phone right here always just to make sure that you guys can hear me. But all right, so I'm going to make sure, or the one thing I'm going to do is I do want to take a quick look at gold as I wait for any questions or any markets that you guys want to take a look at. I do want to take a quick look at this because I think it's really important that we do, especially with how this market's going to be reacting around what we can currently see, right? This level of structure. Now, again, I know a lot of people always talk shit and they always say, Jay, why is it that you only just trade structure with, trend lines and fibs? And I always say, because there's really not much else you're going to need. As far as me, I know a lot of people, they want indicators, they want things that, moving averages and all these other crazy things. Me personally, that's not anything I would need, right? Price action, if anybody's not studying price action, I suggest that you do, because in my honest opinion, that's going to be something that's going to help you become a lot more consistent with your trading. So what I mean by price action, I'll just give you kind of like a small general idea of what it means. You're identifying the most relevant level of price. Obviously, this was a level of resistance, and you're identifying the actions that have happened there. Well, when we got to this price before, after this strong buy, we can see how it sold off. And where are we again? Right back at that level of structure. So that's important to me. So why is that important? I'm going to mark this up because right after this, I'll be teaching legacy students, going over some entries and some potential trades, and even the trades that we were in yesterday. We can actually go over GBP USD here because that's actually something that we looked at yesterday on this live on YouTube, and I actually did put a buy signal out, and everybody should be in some really good profits on that. So we'll take a look at that after this actually. So this being resistance, and I'm sorry if like my typing is mad loud, this keyboard's ridiculous. You can see this level of resistance. That's important to me because with that level of resistance, what it's going to tell me is that there should be some type of action there. And what are we getting? Some actions. There's a wick, and again, I told you guys, if you haven't studied your candlestick patterns, I suggest you do. Wick. If you don't know what that means, figure it out. I'm writing this here because I do want to go over what this means with students, because that's actually going to be a really important idea here. Maybe even today, tomorrow, in the near future, but we are going to be identifying something based off the technical analysis and how the market is developing around this area. And now, just so that way everybody understands, I'm on the weekly time frame, right? I'm always going to start from a high time frame, scale my way down, get detailed. So we can see that level of resistance come back or scale down to the daily. And I know everybody's like, but Jay, that's not the high point. I know up here is the actual highs. But what I'm looking at is just the more common sense level of structure. It couldn't break above here on the weekly as of yet. So I just want to mark that up right there because that's what's being respected. And the reason why I'm putting it there is because you can see, I mean, that's where the market could not break out of previously, right? Those two candles could not push up higher. So that's going to tell me the market is probably not going to want to push up any higher from there either. On the daily, I'm not getting too much. I'm not going to start trying to draw 1,000,001 things and try to make things work. As far as like, trend lines, you can add that in the near future if you would like, obviously, but I'm not going to try to add too much and get confused. When I scale down to the 4-hour though, now we're going to start to see a little bit more detail. And what I mean by that is you can start to see this bearish engulfing candle at a level of structure. Again, actions at a level of price is important. That's going to tell us something. If you don't know what a bearish engulfing candlestick at structure means, I suggest you definitely go take a look at what that means. It's very important, right? Any type of actions at a level of structure. Price is important. Price, action, right? You're identifying the most relevant areas of structure and price, and then the actions that proceed within them. Important. So anytime I see that, that's going to tell me something, right? So what I would do from here, and I actually might, let me see this on the 1-hour. See, that trend is just so like, it's ridiculous. Gold has been crazy. I will actually draw this out. And if you guys are wondering why, if you can't see it, here you go. Now, the reason why I'm drawing this trend line out is because, I mean, it's a very simple idea, right? Trend line. It is a line showing you the direction, the trend of the market. And it can be used as an entry point, right? So let's say, especially here, which I'm probably going to do real quick. So actually, since you guys are on, as this stream gets bigger, I won't be placing that many trades. Obviously, I got to save a lot of this value. I mean, I give you guys tons of value, but like as far as the profits, as far as the trades, I got to leave that for students. But I'm pretty sure it's just legacy students on here and a few followers. So for right now, I'll reward those individuals who are staying dedicated and consistent to their trading. What I am going to do right now is I am going to take a small buy on this really quick. Now, this is rather risky. You guys do not have to place this trade if you do not want to afford the risk or cannot afford the risk. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to get out the YouTube chat here in a second because I'm going to have to place this trade on my phone. What I am going to do is I'm going to look for two take profits, rather. Let me actually put my crosshairs back on. I'm going to look for two entries or two take profits. So we have one take profit up here for about 518 pips, and I have another take profit here because there could be potential sells there. So I am placing a buy on this. I don't know how long you guys are even seeing this happen on your side because I know the delay from me to you guys is pretty significant. But what I am going to do is look for buys here. And I'm just going to scale down to 15. Yeah, I do like the way this looks. And if you guys place it, as I said, you guys should be in small profits. Hold on. I'm actually going to go ahead and place this this trade myself. Give me 1 second. I'm on my phone. Hey, my other trade's working in beautiful profits right now. I like that. Even though we had some hits on the auto trader, I was able to make that up, and then with these other trades I got for us, that's going to be golden for us as well. And again, that's full transparency, man. You're never going to be 100% with your trading. I don't know why everybody thinks that if you lose a trade, you can't trade. You know what I mean? Losing a trade within that's a tongue twister. Losing a trade within this profession, I would say, because I was going to say losing a trade within trading, that's difficult. But you're always going to lose a trade. I want everybody to understand that. You know, like you're never just going to be profitable, be consistent, and never lose a trade another day in your life. That's never the case. So what I want everybody to understand is if that happens, don't beat yourself up. You know what I mean? Don't beat yourself up if you lose a trade. That's exactly what happens to everybody. But right now, I'm not going to place this on the auto trader because I do think this is rather risky because I'm looking more along the lines of sells since we are within that level of structure. But this is why my take profits are so close, right? I'm not looking for a strong continuation. My first take profit is going to be at this potential sell area because as you see, this is just a retest, a break and retest. Targets, and I'll share this with you guys in the Discord as well for anybody who's on here. Targets 1, And the reason being, again, is because if this level of structure is respected, we're going to have a sell from that area, right? We will have a sell from that area. You know what? I like this a little bit too much. So you know what? I'm going to, I shouldn't be saying this while I'm on with you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and place another entry on this. Just because I do like the way this looks. Okay. So, yeah, this is my analysis behind it. I do like the way that this currently looks as far as a corrective trade, because as you can see, this is the break. And I know some of you guys are getting a lot of knowledge from this, a lot of value. So if you guys are, please share this with somebody. Let's grow this community together. I think we as individuals will be able to grow this into something larger. So please, by all means, that'll be great. So real quick, this is what I'm looking at over here, the break. Yeah, okay. Break of structure. So since I see that break of structure, it's probably going to tell me most likely the market is going to want to continue bearish, right? But after a strong impulse, you're going to get a correction. I mean, that's inevitable. Everybody knows that. That's exactly what happens, especially after the third touch of a trend line, as you guys can see here, right? You have your third touch there. So that's going to tell me more along the lines that this market wants to continue to buy, at least from here, right? At this moment, so we can get a short-term buy leading to targets 1 here, or we can have it reach our targets 2, which is a beautiful trade because that's about 500 pips. So we'll actually just write that there as well. Targets 2 equals 500 plus pips. So if anybody places trade and makes money on this session and you catch 500 pips and you make a lot of money, I need you to share this with somebody in the future. I think that's only right. You know what I mean? I'll make y'all as much money as possible as long as you share this and tell somebody about it. So that way we can just continue to grow. But this is what I mean. I want to grow this based off of consistency, profits, actual knowledge, and value. You know what I mean? So hopefully this is helping everybody, and hopefully this gives you guys some profits. Now, I haven't seen anything so far as questions, as far as any markets that you guys would like to take a look at. So let me know. What markets would you like to take a look at? What questions do you guys have? You guys are helping me, right? Because doing this right now helps me become a lot more, I would say, try to be perfect. Because anytime I'm on a session and people are watching, I'm always like, I have to be as perfect as possible because the value has to be there. Obviously, the profits have to be there as well. So it helping me helps my students, because once I'm done with this, I jump on a call with them. I'm able to have everything perfectly marked up and obviously ready to go with any type of profits and be able to answer questions and already know what we should be looking at. I always do that anyway, but I figured since I'm doing it by myself, I might as well share that with you guys as well. So again, any markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely taking a look at the comments, just so that way, again, I can stay relevant to anything you guys want to take a look at. And again, the delay on this is kind of crazy, so I know you guys are probably typing or have already typed. So I'll take a look at that here in a second. I just want to take there we go. As we wait for some of those questions, comments, anything you guys have, I do want to take a look here at Euro JPY. I mean, this is a beautiful idea of plan your trade and trade your plan, right? If anybody was on this call yesterday morning, you would see that I had this marked up same way. I haven't changed anything. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing this market to show its true colors. And as you can see here, it's showing its true colors. After that impulsive move, kind of like what we saw with gold, it has to correct back into a level of something significant to make its next decision, right? And now I can see here, this is our next decision area. This is our kill zone for sells. Kill zone for sells. Real simple idea, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people get this like all fucked up, all messed up, right? We want to make as much money as possible. We want it right now, right now. And that's not how it has to be when you trade. When you're trading, everything has to be systematic. You have to make sure that you're looking at an idea and discipline with your idea as well. So what I'm looking at is, again, this market right now is in a bearish market, bearish trend, right? If I scale from the daily time frame higher, you can see right now that this is a strong bearish market. And actually, I'll delete everything, because what we also have to take into consideration is not just a small break and retest, it's a pretty significant break and retest. This is, I would say, this is the exact point. But if we just draw the entire zone, because we have to use these wicks here as well, you can see here, we're reaching that area. Now, it's not for sure right now, enter sells right now, no. But what I do think is going to eventually happen is as this market develops around this area in this range, we're going to start to look for exactly that, sells, right? So we have a strong level of structure being a daily level of structure. We'll make it more precise to the current price, but I'm not placing a trade right now because it's not within the actual area as of yet. But what we again can do is add our forms of confluence, other details or other tools rather that will tell you when the trade is ready. Now what I am also going to do is just draw this actually I'll just draw the zone. It's somewhat within my kill zone. I would actually like it to be up here around that 71 and 786. And then also my trend line. So I'm actually going to, the 4 hour. So this is why I hate deleting my analysis sometimes, because I'll be forgetting so much. I'm like, what did I have? I have no clue. All right, so perfect. So again, this is nearing into my eventual kill zone for sells. So let me actually write that again, so that way when we get on to this next session, I know exactly what we're looking at. Kill zone or sell kill zone. Perfect. So again, what I'm looking at for this at least is a sell from that general area. So hopefully that helps and makes some sense. But I haven't seen anything. It looks like a lot of y'all just listening and just tuning in. I do appreciate y'all being on too. This is actually growing pretty significantly, so I do appreciate that. So let's see. No other markets y'all want to take a look at? No questions? Everybody just silent? Everybody just looking? I mean, that's cool. Let me see what gold doing. Oh, that's fine. I might actually just make my stop loss a little bit extended lower. I still like this, you know what I mean? So the one thing about a trade too is this is actually good to go over is I know when people start seeing drawdown and they're like, oh my God, I'm losing this trade, I'm losing money. That's okay. Like, allow the trade to develop. This is why I said it's even risky, because I'm probably going to place a re-entry somewhere down here after this candle closes. Just really depends on how this closes rather. But anytime you're in a trade and like you place an entry and it's not going your way immediately, that's okay. That's how the markets work. And you're not like, actually, let's go over one of the trades that we, what was it, NZD USD or AUD CHF? It was one of these, yeah. So AUD CHF, AUD CAD, which I just took profits for everybody just because like there's some Aussie news coming out at 10. So the last thing I want to do is be in this, and then next thing you know, it drops. So just to be safe, I put everybody out of risk and just took profits on AUD CHF and AUD CAD on the auto trader. But I want to go over a few things, and gold's a beautiful example of this since there's no questions, and I just, just trying to think of things to help you guys understand how to trade a little bit better. And this is a beautiful example of, again, gold right now I'm in buys, but am I in profits on it? No, I'm not. And that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and start getting scared. If I lose a trade, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? You're never just going to place a trade and expect it to win immediately. And you're never going to place a trade and expect to win every last one of them. But with something like this, like gold, if you're not in profits, if anybody did place a trade and you're sweating, you know what I mean? Don't. Allow the markets to work. They work for us. We don't work for them. So, and patience, right? Patience definitely pays. So if you're in a trade and you see that you're in a little bit of drawdown, that's perfectly fine, because if I can't tell you how many messages I got yesterday about AUD CAD, right? This was a chart that we were in, or a trade rather, that we were in yesterday. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can already see kind of the reason why we bought this. But if you can see real quick, I'm pretty sure if I'm correct, our entry was here, somewhere around this area here, right? Now, I don't know how many messages I got last night or yesterday rather, just saying, Jay, what the F about AUD CAD, AUD CHF? You place an entry and they're no longer in profit, they're negative. And I want everybody to understand that that's how the markets work. Each one of these candlesticks, at least for this time frame, represents 1 hour of work. So if that's telling me I need to wait 1 hour or a few hours or a day rather for me to end up in profits, that's okay. Because as you can see, as the market develops and you trust your analysis will fall through and you end up in profit. So that's just a little nugget for anybody who kind of suffers from the idea of not holding their trade when they're not in profits. Again, just to use this as an example, being gold. Gold right now not being in profits, but I still like the analysis. And with the analysis still holding true, at least for me, for what I like, I'm actually going to continue to hold this. I might actually just move my stop loss a little bit because I don't have a giant lot size on this. Like, I can afford a little bit more risk. I didn't go ahead and place a 50 standard on this shit, and like, no, by no means. I'm always going to use proper risk management as well. So now with this new candle opening, we'll see how it plays around this area. If it drops below the trend line, below the level of structure, then obviously I'll cut the trade. You know what I mean? That's how you manage your ideas and manage your trade. But I'll just continue to hold, see what happens. I'm not going to get nervous. But again, that's exactly why you stay patient. Because let's say we close this trade out right now. Everybody closes. And then everybody's like, oh, shit, I lost a trade. And then next thing you know, with this same candle, it just comes up to our 500 pips. I doubt that. That'll never, I mean, let me not say it'll never happen, because that's happened a few times trading gold. But yeah, you know what I mean? Just always stay patient within your own individual trading. But again, any questions, any comments that you guys have? I don't know if, oh yeah, okay, you guys are putting, I just saw another one. All right, so I'm gonna still stay true to that. So what's, let's see what else we got. Oh, this is me messing around with Elliott Wave. I would not take that into consideration right now, so don't worry about that. GJ, let's actually take a look at GJ. Oh, not yet, because I would like to see this come back up to, oh, my tools don't want to work. I want to see it come back up to at least this level. Is it at least? This level of structure is a little bit more important to me, because again, I want significance. I want to make sure that the probabilities of my trades are going to be in my favor every single time. Let me actually go back to YouTube real quick. People be texting me out of nowhere. All right, so I'm actually just going to hold off from any sells on GJ for right now, and I'm going to allow it to at least come back up, or at least come to our kill zone. I'll put it in between the 50 and the 61.8, but I'm looking more along the lines of the 50, because that's where the real structure is. And if anybody's like, you really use a 50% retrace ratio? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I don't know why everybody's like, I don't use a 50 or the 38.2 or even the 23.6, which I've placed trades off of that a few times. Well, I say a few times, plenty of times. And they've worked. They work in my favor. Each fib ratio is important. So don't think it's not. But yeah, let's see. Nothing on that right now as far as GJ is concerned, but in the near future there might be. And again, I'm just marking up charts, getting things ready for my session here in a little bit with Legacy students. If you guys have any questions, any markets you guys want to take a look at, definitely let me know. I don't like cutting through my candles, but I will accept that for right now. So again, just adding more confluence to my analysis and make sure that when this market does reach my my markup, again, the probabilities are in my favor and I could be looking for something significant. And if you guys hear me like move side to side, I got like 3 computers in front of me. Oh yeah, we can actually go over GU as far as the trade setup is. And if you guys can see, I actually did put this out for you guys as a signal for a trade yesterday. Don't mind the gifts. I just try to be entertaining so that way everybody laughs and has a good time as we build this community and trade. But we did say buy GBP USD. We had our stop losses set, our take profits as well. As you see here, just being a little funny, we were up on that, and we still are. We can still see how this trade is working out in our favor. And just to go over this entire trade, oh, let me see. What's your minimum risk to reward ratio to take a trade, and what percentage do you risk on your account per day to trade? All right, so I'm going to be real with you. So when everybody starts talking percentages and shit, I throw that out the window. Only because I'm not focused on percentages. Like, I'm not going to say, well, after 13% of my account, I am done. And no, by no means. If I have $1,000 in my account, I'm placing a 0.10. If I have $10,000 in my account, I'm placing a standard. That's based off of my skill set, my trading. I'm going to be the first person probably on record to say this. If you want to, this is the money game. You're making money. I'm not going to sit here and say you don't want to risk sometimes. If you believe in a trade, make your money. Now, as far as like how much do I normally risk, if you really want a true answer on that, I'm risking anywhere between 2 to 3% when I'm trading, right? So depending on how much I have in an account, I'm risking 2 to 3% on the higher end side because I got bills, right? Like there's no fabrication behind that. I'm not going to say, I'm being transparent. You know what I mean? I'm not trading because it's cool and streaming is fun. Like, no, I'm doing it because everybody has bills. But to be really honest, as far as like percentages, I don't really track that on a personal aspect. Like I don't have a journal and I don't write things down like that. And the reason being is because, and this is just me personally, I'm not saying this for everybody, but on a personal tip, trading is already so, I wouldn't say confusing, but more along the lines, it's a stressful thing. You already have to put everything so much into consideration that the only thing that I personally focus on is staying consistent within my trading. I don't care how much money I'm making. I obviously care how much money I'm losing. But at the end of the day, if I know that I'm staying consistent within my trading, I know at the end of the day I'm making money, if that makes sense. That's the only thing I really focus on. So as far as percentages and everything, that's never been my thing. And that's just how I always, how I learned how to trade, because I taught myself. So I never really focused on, percentage this, percentage that. I focused on rent's due next month. I got this due. You know what I'm saying? This is 7 years ago. So I was focused on what was going to help me make money and be consistent. So I'm sorry I'm not able to answer that question in a professional manner. I'm just answering that on a personal and just a me level. Again, because I'm already taking into consideration, especially now I have this business. I'm trading multiple accounts. Last thing I'm trying to do is focus on percentages. That's already too many numbers. You know what I mean? But yeah, the risk to reward ratio, though, I can't say that. I'm always looking for at least a 30 to 50 pip stop loss. On gold, I'll do 100 to 150 because gold is gold. And then the reward is always at least 50 to 100 to 300 pips. So it's always 1 to 4 for the most part, because I'm a swing trader. And especially like when I'm looking at like a trade like GBP USD, something that can move in such a short amount of time, as you see here. This is already 100 pips, and that's a small move, not our trade 100 pips, but the overall idea. And our stop loss here is 40. So that's how my risk to reward usually works. It's usually 1 to 4, 1 to 3, but I could definitely answer that as far as the trade setup is. So definitely 1 to 4, 1 to 3, just because I'm swing trading. This definitely has turned into a swing trade, but it's more along the lines of an intraday swing trade. So yeah, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, without a doubt. But as far as like percentages on what I'm risking, that as like money wise, I personally don't keep track of that. Maybe I should. Maybe that's like unprofessional of me, but I'm focused on being consistent and profitable. I just wanted to know so that way I can have right settings on the auto trader. For the auto trader, it's just real simple, bro. Like I see what you're saying as far as that. Yeah, so I mean, it's just for whatever you have in your account for the auto trader, use proper risk management, because there's going to be times where I'm going to be placing more entries, because I know maybe sometimes you guys have, not big lot sizes. So I'll place more entries so that way you guys can make a little bit more at the top end with that trade, if I really do believe that trade is going to be successful. We've done that a few times and it's always worked out beautifully. So I see what you're saying. I'll definitely let you know. If you have any questions on that rate, just get at me and I got you. But yeah, any other questions? Beautiful, beautiful questions, by the way. And I'll try to take a little bit more consideration into how much I'm risking percentage-wise, I guess. Because I think that is something important. That's something that we should be taking into consideration. Okay, still working at gold. Not worried. GBP USD still working. So let's take a look at GU. And the reason why I'm really not so worried about gold is because the idea of what the dollar is currently doing, right? The dollar right now is not doing as great. It's not making as much value. So with gold increasing in value, that will bring other pairs such as AU bullish, as you can currently see. You will see other pairs like, what's Euro AUD? Is that still selling? Oh, that's still chilling. You see Euro USD still buying, currently how it is. GU, same sense, right? When the dollar's not gaining value, you're going to see these markets start to buy. So that's why I'm still pretty heavy into the gold buys. I'm still going to hold these. I'm really not worried about it. If anybody's in it, you can still hold those as well. You can see it's currently rejecting that trend line and even the structure just a little bit more. So that's even more decisive in the buys. So that's giving me high confluence to say that GBP, USD, and all these other cross pairs with the US dollar will continue to push in our favor. So as you see here with GU, it was a very simple idea as the buys are concerned. I'll get rid of everything, kind of go over this and what we're going to be doing next. Now, with any strong impulsive move, you're always going to see a correction. I always teach that, I always show that. That's really important that we understand that. Nas is buying, is it? That's what's up. So what I can see is GU right now is obviously not really at a strong level of structure. we're not going to really identify anything over here. So what we're going to use is the candlesticks rather, right? And this candlestick in particular is going to be significant for us in the near future, right? So what I'm looking at right now is obviously this candlestick, this doji. This right here is going to tell me that the market is kind of stuck. Not stuck, but it's not as impulsive as it was before. And since it's not as impulsive, maybe something can happen, such as a correction, right? The reason why that's important that we identify this as a strong impulse is because if you look left to get right, we broke this level of structure, this support range. That support range being broken is showing that sellers are probably still within the market. I say probably because, again, with how the fundamentals, the economy right now, Russia, Ukraine, I don't even know if I could say that here on YouTube right now without being demonetized, if I'm even monetized, which I don't think so I can say it. I do think that with that break of structure, the overall technical aspect is that we should still find continued sells, right? So what I'm looking at with GU, and the reason why, we'll scale down to a smaller time frame to identify the reasons why, but the overall idea is I'm looking for a correction at least back to this area of broken structure. Now, there's also another area that we could take a look into, which is here, right? That also is a level of structure because you can see a breakout candle here. So we'll just say break. And we have another break. So with those, I'm looking at a re-entry sell there, and it'll look like this. Or not re-entry, a retest sell. Same thing there. Very simple, right? As far as the overall sell market is concerned. But as we're nearing those sells, we can obviously look for confluence and ideas for a counter trend trade. If anybody doesn't know what that means, it's a very self-explanatory thing. Counter trend, right? We're going against the buy or the seller's market and we're looking for buys. We're going against the trend. Very self-explanatory. Trading's hard, right? No, it's not. It's very common sense once we start, just putting 2 to 2 together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my fib from the swing highs here to swing lows there. And as you can see, we have 2 kill zones. Now I'm going to draw this specifically to the 38.2, at least for educational purposes. And I'm going to draw this up to I would actually use this entire zone, 786, and I would actually use a 786. Now, I personally never get specific on my fib ratios. I don't favor one fib ratio over the other, but as of what I'm looking at, and for legacy students, we'll kind of go over what I mean and why I'm being specific on these. But there's a reason on why I'm being specific on these in this level of structure. Hopefully everybody kind of understands that. Legacy students will go over that here in a second. So what I am looking at is some sells from these areas, but we can obviously buy up into those sell ranges. So we'll do this. This will be an aggressive sell. Where's my thing? Oh. Aggressive sell. And this will be our conservative sell. Aggressive because obviously you would like a market to give you a little bit more of a pullback because the risk to reward would be higher in your favor. And then you could sell from there, but obviously your stop loss would be a little bit higher up. If your conservative sells up here, that's a pretty decent pullback, and then your risk reward would be less. It'll look like this. I mean, me personally, I would never put my stop loss that high on a parallel, on like a market like this. But usually what you would do is, especially technical analysis, you would put your stop loss above the previous highs. That's a lot, so probably not. So in my discipline, I do anywhere between 30 to 50 pips, maybe even on GU, I probably do 70. And then my first take profit would be at that level of structure. And if that's broken, obviously it'll continue. But in this sense, if you're looking for the conservative sell, which is what I'd be probably doing, then you could use the previous highs, which as you can see is pretty much almost the same, 70 pips. And then your first take profit is much more. And if that's broken, obviously you continue and you make more money. So that's what I'd be looking at with GU. But the reasonings for the buys is because if anybody, and just I think actually some of you guys were saying it yesterday, I think a legacy student definitely pointed out, because I'm always going over this shit with you guys, is that there was an inverted head and shoulders pattern. If you guys can't see that, if you guys don't know what that is, go look it up. Inverted head and shoulders pattern. That is the shoulder. That is the head. This is the weird looking right shoulder. And as you see, we had that bullish break to the upside. We also broke that neckline, which is important because the break of that neckline dictates and shows the continued buy idea. So what we can do, if anybody did not get into those buys from yesterday, if you are not in the Discord and receive the signal for those buys, as you see here, buy GBP USD, currently in profits, stay updated with all the live sessions and any signals as well, you'll be able to see that we bought that and there is a re-entry right here at the neckline. So if you did not get into that trade, there is another opportunity and chance roughly around that area. We're going to take a Fibonacci retracement tool from the swing lows here and the swing highs. Let me correct those lows. I always get on my students about being perfect with their shit. I'm going to be perfect with mine. I got to make sure I heed my own advice, right? So what I would do is identify something like this. Right back into that area of structure. So if you guys did not get into those buys yesterday, you did not get that value. Hopefully you guys got that today. Because as you can see right now, GBP USD is definitely giving us a bullish mindset. And as it continues to be bullish, we can find areas for our entries. Now I'm just drawing that trend line there because obviously it's not going to be perfect, right? It's not going to hit the 50% retrace ratio or the structure that I have marked up perfectly, but everything put together is kind of like X marks the spot. So this will be our buy kill zone for GBP USD. Simple, right? Now I know a lot of you guys are probably like, really, that's all you use? Yes, this is all I use. And if you think I'm doing this way too fast and it's wrong, okay. You know what I mean? I only say that because when you're identifying, when you have a discipline, when you have a trading discipline and you're identifying the same thing over and over and over every day, you know, I mean, you're just, it becomes natural. You're able to find these things and see these things pretty easily because you're identifying the same thing over. It's robotic. So if you guys are not like that, if you're not, you know, if you don't have a discipline, a trading plan, and you're not able to just jump onto a chart and start immediately identifying things without even having to mark it up, I think you should go back and study a little bit more and back test. Now, that's not to sound disrespectful. That's to give you guys real advice so that way you guys have motivation to go do it, right? Because back testing your ideas is what's going to help you become consistent. Still studying, I still study, I still learn, right? What I'm even going to do is I'm actually going to go buy some trading courses. Why? Because I want to know how to become a student again. I want to make sure that my tools are sharp. And I also want to know how to educate better. I think if you learn how somebody else teaches, you'll be able to pick up some things that you personally don't do, and you'll be able to teach better. I'm on this ever-long quest of just knowledge and studying and learning. I have no idea why, but there it is. So, and it'll be translated back to you guys as well, I promise. But if you guys are not studying, I suggest you do, because this is a very easy idea to see. If you guys did not see it, hopefully you see it now. But that's what I'll be looking at with GBP USD. And somebody said Nas is buying. I was still looking for it to sell overall. Let's see. Nas 100. Still have no idea why you guys are liking this pair. Oh, wow. That's how much I don't trade this. It's still selling overall. It's still selling. Now, this is the thing, though. You got to understand where it's going to sell from. You can't just say, well, it's selling, I'm going to sell, especially not in this market. It's still selling, but where is it going to sell from? And where is it going to buy from? Where is it going to sell from? Hint, hint. Where is it going to buy from? Hint, hint. Of course, the market's going to buy right now. You just hit a level of support. But where is it most likely going to sell from? Makes sense? That's all you got to do with Nas 100. That's it. That's literally your entire markup. I already know what the market's doing overall on a higher time frame. It's selling. There is some rejection on these wicks on the weekly. There is a double bottom here on the daily, and this daily candlestick here is also showing me maybe a potential buy maybe coming into play. But overall, this market's still pretty much selling. But that's the thing. Like you say, what time frame is that? This one, all the time frames you'll be able to see right up here. So anytime you see me go through them, whatever's highlighted in blue, you'll be able to see. I'll put the time frames back up here after the session. But this is on the weekly, these wicks. This is on the daily. This is on the 4 hour. This is on the 1 hour. Right? But it doesn't matter about the time frame. It matters about the overall analysis and what you're trying to get. There's no time frame better than the other. I don't want anybody to start thinking that you only trade the 15-minute or the 1 hour and all that shit. Everything has to be put together. So where do you buy from? Where do you sell from? That's what it's all coming. That's what it all comes down to. And this is not to sound disrespectful. This is me being extremely, extremely honest. You have to look at the charts. A lot of us will look at the phone or our phone and we'll think it's way too overbought. We have to sell and not realize that that shit's been buying for 3 months. And that one day that you think is going to sell, it's not going to sell, right? You have to look at the charts. You have to take a look at what previously happened as well. Previous history will give you a future idea. So why is NAS 100 currently in that buy? Look left. We have hit that level of support. With that level of support being respected, you can expect those buys to happen. Now, where will those buys most likely run out at? Identify where those buys will most likely get tired at to identify and continue with the overall sell. Does that make sense? I know you're a legacy student. I got you. We're going to go over this more right after this. I got you. I fixed my damn my Zoom. I don't know why my OBS, like whatever software that I'm using to stream on this, it got mixed up with my Zoom somehow, and I couldn't get on my Zoom. So I didn't even know how to fix it. I updated my OBS, and then everything was fixed. So I got you. I definitely got you. We'll go over this here in a second, right after this session. I definitely got you. But yeah, that's what I would identify at least on that, and we'll get more in detail on what I mean right after this. I got you. But yeah, NAS 100, in my honest opinion, is going to, in my honest opinion, we got to allow this to develop more, obviously, because we'll take a look at the higher time frames when we get on here in a second as well. It does start to see or show that it might be showing some bearish rejection, but the probabilities overall is something that what we currently could see is something that we can identify as a potential sell setting up. And look at that. As I say that, you can see here how it's reacting around that range, right? Now, I don't really use a smaller time frame such as the 15 or the 5 minute or the 1 minute or the 5 second. I don't know how people be using that shit. But I would use smaller time frames, especially now, to kind of see what's happening on this. And I do like the way the sells are setting up. I'll just draw that here to be a little bit more precise. I'm glad you're doing morning sessions. I was always doing morning sessions. It's just I never did the YouTube lives. Right, I never did the morning sessions. I did do the evening sessions here for a little bit, but there's really no sense to even be doing them at night. So, yeah, I figured we'd just be doing some live trading here for a little bit. But yeah, any questions, any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. Whether you're a legacy student or not, I really want to make sure that I'm being relevant and catering to any and all people who need the help. Look at that, AU. Damn, maybe I shouldn't have taken profits on these trades. I just wanted to be risk-free on those because next thing you know, when that Aussie news comes out, I think it's over here. Where is it? Oh, not Aussie, U.S. There you go. I don't know why Aussie, but U.S. news. I wanted to make sure we stood clear from the majority of our trades for U.S. news that was gonna pop up here at 10. So we were in a AUD USD buy, I believe, and a few other Aussie pair buys and a few U.S. cross pair, GU buys and stuff too. So I just wanted to get out of those trades just for the meantime. But I'm personally still taking the risk. It's not on the auto trader. I did not put any trades on gold for the auto trader leading into news. But I took just a personal trade on gold, and still going to hold that. I really don't care. I actually do like the way this level of structure is holding, or at least where it's at. And then next thing you know, news could use that as an excuse to push to the upside. So yeah. Questions, comments, we appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. I feel like it's just all legacy students on here. If it is, I mean, do we got to go on another session? I just want to make sure because if you guys need anything, I'm here. But I want to make sure you guys are good. But yeah, questions, comments, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. USD JPY Finally, she's starting to sell. I was looking for this to sell for the longest. I was selling from down here, and it hopefully, I mean, yeah, actually, I'm still in these entries because our stop loss is a little bit higher up. But this is what I was looking at. I mean, it's a very simple idea as far as a range is concerned. It popped up above that range and actually came back up to these highs, which is cool. It's fine. Again, you allow the markets to just work in your favor. You don't get impatient. You trust your analysis. Actually, this would be the entire zone. I just don't like my zones being that big. But that's perfect right there. Now, would I advise you guys to get into the sells right now? Probably not, only because the move has already kind of been made. But what I would see is, since that trend line is it is broken, maybe we could identify another re-entry, something like this. So let's see how that plays out. But yeah, no questions, no markets. Everybody's solid. Looks like everybody's good in the chat. I just want to take a look at some other charts real quick. USD CAD finally dropping. I think I'm mad if I close these out because it's finally going into profits. A lot of these charts, man, a lot of the markers have just been like stagnant, or just like really trending with absolutely no remorse. But some of these charts, they've just been kind of like stuck, if you will. Not the US cross pairs for some reason. They've just been kind of like chilling. But now they're starting to show a lot of good volatility. Oh, cryptos. We actually might put a video out on this. I do think cryptos are going to just have this strong sell-off coming soon. So don't be surprised if you start to see a lot of people cry about their crypto investments. But I do think we're going to start to see a lot of sells happening across the board for our cryptocurrencies. Let me take a look at SHIB Inu. Yeah, so not within my range just yet. I know that looks like it, but it's not there just yet. But yeah, I don't see any questions, anything from you guys. So what we'll do is we'll conclude for today. I'll be teaching my students here actually in a few minutes. I just want to jump on a call with them, see if there's anything that they need, answer any questions that they have in greater detail. If there's any trades, obviously I want to make sure that I put those out on the session as well for everybody. But I do want to extend my gratitude for everybody who's been on this call. Thank you guys so much. I highly appreciate everybody's time and attention. It's really important that, again, that I build this community based off of just a lot of value, a lot of education, and obviously profits. Whenever there's going to be profits that could be made, I want to extend that out to you guys as well. So the more that you follow, the more that you're going to be rewarded. So if you guys can do me one quick favor, please, again, like this video. I really want to grow this base off of as much value and consistency as possible. If you could share this with anybody, that'll be great as well. I know there's a lot of value, a lot of education that goes on in these. So even with the live session that doesn't seem like much, I guarantee you I'm answering so many people's questions without them even having to ask. So at least share this with somebody who's learning how to trade, who's interested in trading. What I'm doing, honestly, with you guys is I'm trading in a very advanced manner and teaching it in a very simplistic way. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but if you go look at any other trader, successful trader, in my opinion, one of the best in the business is Q Banks, Quaylen Black. He's, in my opinion, one of the best traders in the world. I'm not saying I trade exactly like him. Obviously not. He has his own style of trading, but we're using the same tools. Price action, support resistance, trend lines, fibs. I think he uses moving averages as well. I personally do not. But, I mean, how can you go against anything that he does? He's the best. So in my honest opinion, I do think that if you are struggling with trading, just kind of simplify it the way that we do. And if anybody is learning how to trade in this manner, make sure that they see this video because it's really important that they learn from this. So again, thank you guys. I highly appreciate every last one of you guys being on currently. I will be doing these, as you can see, every single day, Monday through probably Thursday, because I don't personally trade on Fridays. But if that is the case, I will be doing these on Fridays up until further notice. So with that being said, I highly appreciate every last one of you guys. Tell somebody you love them. Go be great. Have an amazing day and stay blessed, everybody. I appreciate you all. Thank you.